Hey, brother Paul from New York. How are you?
Finally enjoying a cool day. We've had a heat wave.
I'm
Just
telling you, brother, we have
finally, we got our first cool
cold
day.
weather here. What was the temperature in New York today?
I think we actually hit. We were in the 70s. We're down to 64 now.
hmm 64. I think that's what we have here. It's cold outside. It's a little bit cold for me. I like it in the 70. The temperature right now here in Missouri, sir, 67 degree.
Oh, this is gonna be a nice week. I'm just looking at the forecast. We're gonna have
Uh,
70-degree weather all week. Yeah. We've
hey,
had
actually,
we
actually,
we haven't
Monday
we had
is
a
gonna go. The low is 60 and the high 82, and then
wow.
50, 76, 50, 70. I mean, that's awesome. We're almost out of the summer here. Hopefully, I know we normally get a wave of hot temperature, but we'll see what's
Indian
going on.
summer. Yeah, that'll come usually
Close
about
to
the
the end, like say,
Oc-
okay, I'm sorry,
first or
a
second week
little
of
bit.
October usually.
Yeah. Anyway, well, brother, it is another Saturday, and I'm excited about being here tonight with you. And it's going to be an awesome, awesome show. I believe we're going to have some good topic to talk about. The most important thing, which you and I have not talked about after you just start counting the 30-second down. I'm looking at my time and my date. It is September 9. What's going to happen in September 11? Coming up, September 11. That's 2 days from
Yeah,
now. We cannot
goodness.
remember, we cannot forget to remember. So we cannot forget to remember the 9/11 because I believe you'll be surprised that the media will not make a big deal about it. It's going to shrink a little bit beyond imagination. And then maybe a few years from now, American people will completely forget about September 11th. And I'm not going to forget about it because my heart desire is always to talk about the fruit of Islam, which actually we harvest here in America in September 11, 2001. Man, oh man. It was Tuesday, I believe, when it happened. This year is coming on Monday. So God help us not to forget. God help us not to forget.
Amen.
Because if we forget, it will repeat itself. Sadly, it will repeat itself. So I got I got just few verses when the program starts for good. I got few verses to teach about terrorism and the teaching of the Quran on terrorism, and hopefully we can catch up these 6 verses where Allah tells the Muslim to do what they did in September 11. That is the story, my
Yeah.
brother. That is the story. That is the story.
Well, I retired a while ago, so I miss teaching that on 9/11, but it's it's always a shocker to me. You think about it now, the kids that are actually in high schools today were not born by the time when that happened. So they
Sure.
have no memory. No, I mean, they have no clue as to what happened unless we teach them. And sadly, that's not being taught today in a lot of schools.
That's a sad story. As a matter of fact, they're teaching the propaganda Islam. The propaganda Islam. So not only they're not telling the truth, but they're telling hogwash Islam for them to believe in this lies. Anyway, but we pray. Lord is willing, will not forget that. We will never forget. Anything else important you talk about before we start the program?
Just I'm excited for we have an interesting show coming up, and the topic is going to be very interesting. Um, we definitely have to talk about 9/11, but this who revealed this revelation about the Quran is something I'm fascinated to hear what this book reveals that you've been sharing from, because it always has more than I expect.
Yeah.
We're at 5 minute mark.
Five
I'm
minutes will
looking
fly
forward.
away.
I'm looking forward to it. Again, it always has stuff I'd never expect, which is good.
Hey, you know what?
We have to be lifelong learners.
That book is an awesome book. I love it. I love it. I love it. As a matter of fact, we only recorded 31 program already for a radio show, but we're not finished. We're not finished.
Oh wow!
There's more to go.
Out of that,
There's
just
more
that one little book. It's not necessarily a little book. It's a powerful.
Size means nothing. You can have a huge book and it's full of nonsense.
Amen.
You know?
I have one. Okay. Relating to the Traveler. It's a big book. It's full of nonsense.
Yeah. 1,200 pages, half Arabic, half English. I don't even know why people even buy it.
Wait. Let's be honest. A lot of the English has no Arabic with it, but they say it's funny. Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
It's going to be an interesting week. I'm looking forward to seeing pleasant, cool weather. I don't know if there's a lot of teachers. This is going to be like in New York State. This is their first full week back. They start they start 2 days after Labor Day usually, and it would be nice. Yeah, the first week for school for New York State is always the hottest week, and then the last week is always the hottest week. So, yeah, that's how it usually goes. But I'm happy that that part's over.
Yes, sir.
Down.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Hello? You froze, Usama. I don't know what's going on. Your screen froze. Uh-oh. Oh, joy of joys. Technology is just so much fun. You are... Oh, yeah. I had to restart my computer beforehand to get in. My mic wasn't working or connecting to StreamYard. It could have been StreamYard. I don't know. That could be what's happening with Usama right now. We're down to about 2 minutes to showtime. It's an interesting point. And I say showtime, this is where we connect with we're trying to connect with the radio timing and stuff, and it doesn't always work together as well. Unfortunately, because the one who could really do that at best is not, which is Christy. I could not figure out how she could do the two things together. She has a lot more talent than I do in that respect. So we'll see. Usama may have to restart before he joins us. We have a little bit less than 2 minutes before we come back in. I have been doing some research on on prayer and Islamic prayer, and been talking about that during the show that I do on Thursdays, and I get a lot of help from Usama because I sit there and I laugh at Usama's. I sit there and laugh. I'll admit, because the amount of detail it gives me when we're researching this stuff, to me it's just humorous. There's just so much. You want to fix your background settings, or do you want me to fix? I can't fix that.
I'm doing my best here.
Okay. You're almost there.
Paul, can you hear me?
Hey, a little bit more. Yeah, I can hear you fine now.
Well, something is wrong with my computer. It's acting funny.
The
is
joy.
acting funny. My mouse does not work. I just use a touch screen.
I am having difficulty with my mouse now. This is going to be interesting. Okay. We're going to be hearing a count. I'm going to be hearing a countdown in a minute, and we're going to be going live in a few seconds. I'm just waiting for the exact moment for the countdown. We'll start here we go. 2, 1.
Paul, can you hear me?
Welcome to another eye-opening episode of
Revealing the Truth About Islam.
the show that shines the light of truth into the darkness of Islam.
Exposing the life of Muhammad. Exposing the errors in the Qur'an.
It's Revealing the Truth About Islam. And now, here's your host, author, conference speaker, and Islamic expert, Usama Dakdok.
Hey, Paul, I think you can hear me. I don't know if you
Yes.
if you think it's going to work okay.
Your sound is working
I don't
well.
know what's happening. My computer, the mouse does not work, so I'm using my finger to move the touch screen. But believe it or not, I couldn't even fix my background. So you're going to have a green background, man. That's what it is. Green background for you, Brother Paul, tonight. Anyway, hello, and greetings to you all in the name of our Lord and our Savior, Jesus Christ. It is Usama Dakdok from the state of Missouri, and it is September 9 of the year of our Lord 2023. With me, Brother Paul from Rochester, New York. And hello, Brother Paul, and how are you?
Oh, having a wonderful, wonderful week. The heat of the last week is now gone. Thank you to the rain. Lord Jesus, thank you for rain.
I'm glad. I know you like it cold, and I'm glad it's going to get colder and colder the next few weeks here. And then we're going to get to real winter, ice. You guys have snow and ice in New York a lot more than other states, of course.
Yeah, in fact, when I was a child, my parents owned a camp store, and we would get a layer of snow, then you get ice on top of that, another layer of snow, another layer of ice, and where the store that they ran, the roof collapsed.
Man,
and they had to rebuild it
because ice is heavy than snow, of course. Yeah. Well, believe it or not, I know you have some material you want to share with us, some articles, but before we even get to any of this material article, I want you to spend with me a few minutes to read some of the verses of the Quran to learn about the reason why we have September 11, 21 years ago. I'm trying to open one of my PowerPoint, but sadly, it is not working for whatever reason. It is not working.
Okay.
So
you tell me what you want, and I'll put it up.
Well, let's go to. I really want to put them in the right order, but I don't have the verse in the right order from my computer here. Terrorize, rob. Let me look at here in my Arabic Quran on my phone. Perhaps this will be the way to go. And believe it or not, my phone will not even open like normal.
This is the joy of somebody had just said the jinn are causing us trouble.
Yeah, my computer is not working. My phone is not working. What else do you want to do? This is ridiculous.
So, are we going to Surah 9 or?
Yeah. Well, no. Let me look at something here. Just a minute. Okay.
And life is just a joy of when you have fun with technology. Sometimes the fun comes back and bounces back at you and says, "We want to be the victor."
Let's go to Quran chapter 3 and verse 151.
The joy of things. Here we go. I was trying to do one thing and it's doing it. Okay, 151. And I'll be sharing the screen in just a moment. We just make this the right size. And see if I can do that. Nope, that's not going to work. Get the right size settings here so I can get everybody to see it. 51. Here we go.
Notice here the speaker in that verse is Allah Almighty. Allah Almighty, the God of Muhammad, the God of Islam, Satan. As a matter of fact, the more you learn about Allah's teachings, the Quran, the more you're convinced it cannot be but Satan. He cannot be anybody but Satan himself. So, 3, 151. What did Allah say there, brother? Can you give me the
We will-
bold statement above? Can you read the bold statement above it, please?
Islam is the religion behind terror. Oh my gosh. We will cast terror into the hearts of those who became infidels because they partner other gods with Allah, which he did not send down with any sultan.
Authority. The
and
word
they're-
sultan is a non-Arabic word which means authority.
Okay, authority. And their abode is the fire. And evil is the place of the unjust.
When Allah sees the fire here in the Quran, he's talking about hell. Now you have to understand, Paul, that Christians, all Christians are polytheists. All the Christians worship three gods, and the Jewish people are also polytheists because they worship two gods. I'm going to show you why I say that. So go with me to Quran chapter 3. First of all, Muhammad, God, the small God, the God of Muhammad, is so stupid, is so ignorant. He does not even know. He does not know what Christian believe and what Jewish people believe. So let's go to Quran chapter 9 and verse 30. Quran chapter 9 and verse 30.
Okay, just a second. I have to get this over on my other screen so I can do this.
To
Nine
partner
and-
anything with Allah, according to Islam, Paul, it is what they call the sin of shirk.
Yes.
Sin of shirk. It is unforgiven sin. It is not a sin you can do anything to repent of it. Okay? So 9:30, what do we see in 9:30?
And the Jews said, Uzair, which is
Azra.
Azra,
Amen,
is the
Azra.
son of Allah. And the Nasara, Christians said, the Christ is the son of Allah. This is their saying with their mouths. They repeat the sayings of those who became infidels before. Allah engages in war with them. How perverted they are.
Man, oh man, how do you like that? Allah is so ignorant of what the Jewish people believe and what the Christian people believe, and then he created actually a group of people before them who did the same thing. So Allah said, the Jewish people worship Azra as the son of Allah, and the Christian people worship Jesus, Isa, son of Mary, as the son of Allah, and they're perverted, they're sick, they're evil. And by the way, that's not new, because people before them also used to do the same thing. Now, can you give me the name of the people who came before the Jews and the Christians who worship some person as a deity to be the son of God?
I mean, there's a lot of groups that worship different deities, but as worshiping a singular deity, no.
Okay, so obviously Allah is lying or Allah is ignorant. First of all, you could not, and I say again, you could not find any Jewish cults, any Jewish group, any person in the Jewish belief. Azra himself never claimed to be the son of God, and not one Jew ever believed that Azra is the son of God. Can you imagine that with me? You cannot prove it in any way, shape, or form. As a matter of fact, the only Jewish people who believe in somebody to be the son of God are the Christians, because they believe that Jesus is the son of God. That's the only one. Now,
Exactly.
you could not prove that the Jewish ever worship Azra or believe in Azra to be son of God, and you could not find any group of any people who ever believe that God have a son, and that son that he was worshipped, and that son is God. One was the Father. See, Muhammad is just making up. But when you put a verse like that, now we know for sure that these are the Jewish people and the Christian people. Ashraku. Go back to Quran 3, 151. Allah said what? سنلقي في قلوب الذين كفروا الرعب بما أشركوا بالله. بما أشركوا بالله. So 3, 151. Allah said he will cast terror into the heart of the infidels. Why? Because they partner. Ashraku means partner. Other Allah or other gods, whatever it was Allah. The reason the Muslim have the right to terrorize the daylight out of every American and every Christian, every Jew, because we're infidels. What is our sin? Is we worship Jesus Christ as God. That is the real reason why Muslims hate us. Are you Quran chapter 3, 151?
No, I pushed the button too hard, apparently.
That's okay. No
I
problem.
might, okay.
So that's okay. I love you see blue screen and then you bring the verse in.
I have to change it. Okay, so
That's okay.
yeah.
That's okay.
This is the joy of technology. I'm waiting for the day I'm going to be investing in a smaller multiple screen item that I've seen.
That'll be
which
awesome.
We'll see how much better that works.
All right. So Allah is a terrorist. He's going to cast the terror into the heart of the Christian and the Jew because they partner Ezra and because they partner Isa, son of Mary, with Allah. And this, Allah said literally that they're going to spend eternity in hell. We will be the fuel of hell, the Jews and the Christians. Who says Allah Almighty. Believe it or not, like it or not. That is Islam. That is Islam. Let's go to Quran chapter 8 and verse 12, man. Quran chapter 8 and verse 12.
Chapter 8, 12. Okay,
Mhm.
so chapter 8. There we go. And the heading is chopping off the heads and fingers of infidels who are opposed to Allah and Muhammad is taught here. When your Lord revealed to the angels, I am with you, so make firm those who believe. I will cast a terror into the hearts of those who became infidels. So strike above their necks, which is decapitation, and chop off every finger from them.
See, Islam is a religion of pieces. We love to cut people to pieces, man. But when you ask Muslim in America who does not speak very good English, they will say Islam is a religion of peace. No, it's pieces. That's exactly what Muhammad taught the Muslims. So what happened to your computer? Jumped again?
I have no, it jumped on its own, which is bizarre by itself.
My world. Oh my world. 8:12. 8:12.
Wow.
No, that's not chapter 8.
Did that all on its own. Did it all on its own.
Ooh, Brother Paul. Maybe you need to do something about your computer to fix it. Let me put it this way. If you know anybody coming from Saudi Arabia, ask him to bring with them a gallon of camel urine. And you soak your computer in a gallon of camel urine for 3 hours or so, and then it will be running like a clock. Okay, so here's the deal. Let's look at this verse again. Your Lord, who's your Lord? That's Allah, the God of Muhammad. Revealed to the angels. What angels? The devil's, Satan's angels. He said, "What? I am with you. So make firm those who believe." Which one is the believe? The radical, the extremists, no, the Muslim believer. The one are true good Muslims. Okay? I will cast a terror. Who is I here? Allah Almighty, the devil, the Satan, the source of tyranny, will cast a terror into the heart of those who became infidels. That's everyone who's not Muslim. And what the Muslim believer will do? Look at the unity. Allah, His angels, and the Muslim believers. Allah, His angels, they all work together. Allah wants the angels to strengthen the believers. Allah will cast the terror into the heart of the infidels. The good Muslim now, the good believers, will do what? Chop off every finger from them. That is 20 pieces out of the body, because when you use the word finger in the Arabic language, Brother Paul, we mean the toes and the fingers. So if you're going to strike every finger, that is 20 cuts so far, 20 pieces. Okay? Strike out every finger from them. And that is the beauty of Islam. Strike their necks. Oh, so the neck's a bit from the body and 20 fingers. You're talking about 22 pieces, Brother Paul. Have you ever seen anybody enjoy cutting people's fingers and toes and cut their necks?
It's a pretty sick desire.
Islam.
I mean, this is the expression of their God that is supposed to love peace.
Ooh,
Blow
yes.
your mind.
Pieces. We
But
love
this
pieces.
is why he is also called the God. Islam is called the God of pieces, not the God of peace.
Exactly. Okay, scroll down to verse 60, man. Verse 60, same chapter, Quran chapter 8 and verse 60. I think American people need to memorize these verses because it's going to help them a lot to learn the truth about Islam, the savage cult of Islam. 60. What do we have here?
Okay. And prepare for them whatever power you can, and of the tying of horses, strike terror into the enemy of Allah and your enemy and others. Without them, you do not know them. Allah knows them, and what you spend from anything for the sake of Allah, it will be repaid to you, and you will not be dealt with unjustly.
Imagine here, Allah is giving command to Muhammad and the Muslim believers to terrorize all kind of people. Okay, including the one they didn't even know. Other you don't know. And others, without them, you do not know. It's amazing. Muslims are commanded. By the way, I have in one English translation when he said, and prepare for them whatever power you can. He actually listed between bracket, airplane, tanks, bombs, guns, name it. Any power. I mean, Muhammad days, obviously we know it was horses. Okay? But today, it's not horses. Whatever power you can. You know what? When Allah says whatever power you can, he meant actually whatever power you can. To take an airplane to a building like what happened 21 years ago in September 11, that's exactly what Allah is talking about. Whatever power you can. Terrorize the Jews and the Christians. Strike terror into the enemy of Allah. And others, you don't even know. You don't have to know the people you terrorize as long as you know they're not Muslims. If you know for sure they're not Muslim, help yourself terrorize the daylight out of them. This is the word of Allah. That is what the Quran teaches. If just the people of the West can see it, if just the people of the West can read it, if just the people, the Muslim can just figure out what is wrong with our cult. It is a cult of tyranny. It's a cult of tyranny. Let's go to Quran chapter 33, verses 26 and 27.
Come on. Some genius in Microsoft Word decided to Microsoft Office. Okay. 33, what verse?
26 and 27.
Well, 26 and 27. And he brought down the people of the book, who backed them from their strong places and cast the terror into their hearts. A group of them you are killing, and a group of them you are taking captive. And he made you to inherit the land and their homes and their money and a land which you had never set foot on. And Allah was mighty over all things. Did you, Usama? Are you talking? I think you've frozen. Oh, joy of joys. Oh, okay. So Muhammad is bragging about terrorizing, killing, and enslaving the Jews and Christians. He brought down the people of the book, who backed from their strong places and cast the terror into their hearts. You are frozen, Usama. We can't see you. We can see you, but you're frozen, and we cannot hear you. All right. My guess is he does not know that. Let me see if I can give him a clue. Yeah. Doesn't help. All right. I think you figured out. Okay. So Muhammad, again, this is supposed to be Allah's word. This is supposed to be Allah is the one who's supposed to be, the entire Quran is supposed to be Allah speaking. And he brought down the people of the book, who backed them from their strong places and cast terror. Again, Allah is casting the terror in their hearts. Allah is the author of terrorism. A group of them you are killing, and a group of them you are taking captive. So Allah is just so kind, he's going to let some live. And when you take captive, you use them for ransom. Okay. So he's going to make a profit out of this. This is the God of peace. He made you to inherit the land. So he's telling them, Muslims, that you're going to war and you're going to steal the land from the people after Allah casts terror into their hearts. Well, how is he casting terror? He's taking the Muslims to war. And think about this. And those who survive become captives. What do they become? Slaves. And the women become sex slaves. And the children become, oh, yeah. Think about that. Because the only males that don't get killed are the males that don't have one pubic hair. This is disgusting. And this is the best. I mean, again, this is Allah. This is Muhammad's Allah this is what he's saying to the people of the book. Who is he talking about? The Christians and the Jews. And what did they do to the United States? This is just, and we are so quick to dismiss this. Every year, it is one of the, people will forget the things that happened on that day. I think we all remember where we were with horrific events. We remember exactly where we were. And I know on this day, I know exactly where I was. I was teaching in a classroom and waiting for I was teaching a classroom. My next door neighbor came in and said, plane just flew into the World Trade Center. And a few minutes later, I stepped in again to see what was going on. And as I stepped in, the second plane went into the tower, and my friend Carl, who was teaching, he was a Vietnam vet, and he almost collapsed right there. And I say collapsed because this is a man who knows what war is. He lived it. He experienced it as a Vietnam Army, boots on the ground man. His first thought, seeing that second plane, we're at war. And he was concerned that his sons were going to war. This is exactly what we were dealing with. I think, Usama, you're going to have to restart. That's what I had to do when I couldn't get my device to connect. So that's my best suggestion. I would restart your computer. I'm hoping you can hear me. I've had this, it's what I had to do before I got in today. So sometimes, I think sometimes this is StreamYard giving us a hard time. I don't know. As Darcy and others are saying, we've got Damian saying a Dejin attack, and Darcy saying Jabril doing a squeeze attack. I look at some of this, that's the best they can do. Sorry, we are the winners. We've already won. How can I say that? Well, we serve the God who wins in the end. And he's already written about that victory through his writing through a few great prophets. And one of them being Daniel, another being Ezekiel, and yet another being the Apostle John. Jesus talked about it as well, but Jesus is not a prophet. Jesus is God. So this is where I have a good laugh, where they try to claim that Jesus is a prophet, and no. I'm going to take us to Surah 9. I'm sure Usama would get there. And just a second till I can pull this over. Oh, the joy of joys. And I have to pull this over so I can see it. I can't adjust it otherwise. Here we go. Surah 9:5. The screen I have, unfortunately, that I'm using is a TV screen. It's just off to the side, and I cannot adjust it as easily as I would like to. Surah 9:5. When the forbidden months are past, so kill the polytheist wherever you find them. and take them as captives and besiege them and lay wait for them with every kind of ambush. So if they repent and perform the prayer and bring the legal alms, you notice this prayer and legal alms, they kind of go together with Muslims. It's kind of frustrating. I don't understand. This is the thing we were looking at on Thursday. Prayer and legal alms seem to go together all the time. Prayer and money. But that's not what the topic is today. It's this. Kill the polytheist. Where does this come from? Allah. Allah said he would scare us. He would terrorize us. And then who's he sending to kill us? This is written to every Muslim. It's not written to the extremists. It's not written to the liberals. It's written to every Muslim. It's not, again, if you read the translation that is accurate, which is what you will find in the generous Qur'an, which you can pick up through the Straaight Way of Grace Ministry. That is extremely important. People need to understand that accuracy in translation is extremely, extremely important. I say this because as someone who writes and pays attention to these things, I mean, I get concerned when people do not understand the importance of putting an accurate translation out. I'm working with Usama to get an accurate translation when I do my show. Why is it? Because they hide this in these other translations. So when the forbidden months are passed, so kill the polytheists wherever you find them, take them as captives. Well, take them. I mean, again, these will be the sex slaves. These are the pleasure toys of the Muslims who go to war. You will see this as being done via rape. This is being done, being raped, sexual molestation. Birmingham has seen it in unbelievable Birmingham, United Kingdom. We see that throughout Europe right now. Almost every day you're hearing of things like this actually happening. Is it happening in the United States? Probably just as much. What they're not doing is saying, and revealing who's behind these actions. That's where things get a little frustrating. And let's keep going here. Truly, Allah is forgiving, merciful. You consider those actions of killing polytheists. Now, you find that at polytheists are people who believe in many gods, and they said the Jews and Christians believe in many gods, so they have a right to kill you. This is what they're being told. So do you think on 9/11 that they had any belief that they had to be, treat the Christians and Jews as brothers, as they claim? We're all worshiping the same God? Really? If you believe we worship the same God, why are you calling us polytheists? Do you really not know what we believe? That's the truth. They don't know what we believe. They believe what they're told that we believe. Instead of doing their own research, this is what they come to. And this is why they try to kill us. It sounds horrible. It is. It truly is. Now, this is just incredible when you think about it. And Damian, Jesus cannot be a prophet because he is God. A prophet is someone who isn't, he just can't be a prophet. God can't be a prophet. And that's why I'm saying that's what Jesus is. Not a prophet, he is God. A prophet is man. And that just doesn't work. All right. And I'm going to give Usama a few minutes to come back, and I'm going to switch into a news story. So I'm going to stop sharing for a minute, and he can come back. We'll go back to the topic. So one of the news stories I have today, it comes out of the UK, and this should make people think. This comes from the New York Post. I'm going to throw this in, and now you think about 9/11 when you hear this. Pay real close attention. I want you all to share this information. Just tell me when you see this that they're not planning another 9/11. What do I mean by they? Am I saying an organized group like Al Qaeda? It's not required. Am I saying an organized group like Hamas? Again, it's not required. This is what you have to understand. Jihad is commanded to all Muslims. To simply take a look at the Reliance of the Traveler, which is Sharia, Umda al-Sali, pick it up, read it for yourself. It is required. There are 3 levels of jihad required. The first is the first is heart jihad. You have to have high hatred in your heart towards all non-Muslims. That's what it said. This was revealed in the 1915 fatwa that led to a genocide. Then we get to the second level of jihad, which is word jihad. And this is just, again, it's not, there's no such thing as extremist Islam when this entire Quran is written to all Muslims. This Sharia is written to all Muslims. It's not written to you or me. It's written to all Muslims. Please understand this. I'm not making this stuff up. Now, let me get to this headline. And you tell me what you think. I mean, thinking about September 11. And let's take a look at the date for this headline, September 7th. Passenger yelling, Allahu Akbar, God is bigger. Tackled while trying to open airplane door in middle of flight. This was in a flight from Israel to London. This is by Jesse O'Neill, and again, it came out September 7th. A crazed man yelling Allahu Akbar, you'll be able to see the video of this if you go to the site, tried to open a door in the middle of a flight from Israel to England Monday before a brave passenger stepped in and tackled him. Victor Trobolani, an Albanian who was on his way to visit his ailing mother in London, grabbed the hulking unidentified attacker and held him down with other passengers while crew members zip-tied him. It was a very scary situation, Trobolani told the Sun before adding what he was thinking. I might never see my mother again. Flight W94452 on Hungarian budget airline Wizz Air was forced to land in Belgrade, Serbia, following the incident, according to the Israeli news station I-24 News. The company is dealing with the onward flight of all customers to London. The safety and security of passengers and crew are the company's top priority. The company regrets the inconvenience caused by the unexpected incident. In the aftermath of the security breach, a fellow passenger tackled a suspect and placed him in a headlock. In the clip, the unnamed attacker was seen screaming as Trobolani, 45, takes him to the floor. Again, you can watch all this if you go to the site. He tried to open the fire exit. He was sitting at the back, and it's easy to open a fire exit. Just pull the handle, and that's it, Trobolani told the outlet. I got the guy down. He was very heavyweight. Had locked him on the steward, and the stewardess tied his hands with plastic cable ties. I had to do it. Fellow passengers helped Trobolani hold him down until the flight attendant could find the cable ties and restrain him. Again, this happened this week. This week. Oh, joy of joy. Stop back. And I can only do so much. It's amazing to think that this just happened this week. And you can tell me this is the God we were just reading about. These are people who, this is not extremist belief. This is mainline belief structure. Again, he's yelling Allahu Akbar, which is God is bigger. Now, we can take that and be humorous about what is big, and I kind of played with it this week. God is bigger. Bigger than what? A house? Is he fat? I don't really know. But their claim is Allah is bigger. Well, okay. So who cares there? If Allah is bigger, I'm sorry, your God is too small. You can claim and scream all you want. It doesn't make it any different. And for those of you who are joining now, we're waiting for Usama to come and log back in. He's having some difficulty. I'm guessing that is because sometimes you have to restart with StreamYard, and here he comes. All right. And we're waiting for the devices to join in. Just think about that. That was a headline that just happened. All right. And are you back? We can see you with the phone. And it looks,
Paul,
are you there,
can you hear me?
Usama? I can hear you now, but your screen is frozen.
I don't know. I'm using my phone to come in. It's your computer and my phone doesn't work.
I think the internet is slow. There we go. We're
Can
getting
you hear me now?
Yes, but it's somewhat frozen. The screen is a little frozen. Hello? And
Paul,
we're back
I can hear you, but your voice is so low. I can hardly hear you.
I think your internet connection is the issue. I don't think it's there we go. I think it's the computer connection. Your internet connection is what it is, because your screen freezes occasionally. I think that's all of what it is. It may be the service in your area. I don't know. So I just read the story of the attempted attack of on a plane from Israel to London, and a gentleman yelling Allahu Akbar, God is bigger, as he was trying to take down the plane. And he got taken out by an Albanian, which I find interesting by itself. And this is just the joy of fighting to get in. Sometimes things don't work the way you want, and that's why technology is just so much fun. And any comments, Usama? We're still trying to get things to work here. All right, so let me play the next story up. And this one is from France. I'll throw this link in the chat room. And here we go. Life is just so much fun when you're trying to get things working. All right, so this one made me think. Now, Nike is pretty much, we think about this as American. We think about Nike being an American country, a company. I mean, we think about Nike being an American company. This article is titled "British Muslim Bengali Designer Strikes a Game-Changing Deal with Nike and Has Something to Say About the French Abaya Ban." This is by Aisha Malik, came out September 3rd. Now, please do go read this. Please share this article out. It says, modest attire in Islam, as per Islamic dress code, is not intended for fashion purposes. However, the partnership of our sister has forged with Nike holds significant importance for young sisters who may encounter challenges in embracing the hijab and abaya. Now, this is a designer who is encouraging breaking the law in France. So we're hearing sounds, Usama, so we can probably hear you if you speak up. You can hear your keys. All right. Are you getting in? I don't think he has the sound up. Speaker up. All right. Hopefully he'll be able to get back in soon. So again, this lady continues, and she says in August of 2023, British Muslim Bengali designer Saida Haig partnered successfully with Nike to launch an innovative collection of modest streetwear. The collective line, known as Nike by You, ex Saida Haig, it made its debut on August 11, 2023. The collection presents women with a modern reinterpretation of traditional abayas, and again, these are forbidden in the schools. Okay, they're telling people you cannot wear them, and they're telling the Muslim girls that if you don't wear them, you should just go ahead and do it. And this is the issue. Now, there's a picture here I'm going to share, which I find says it all. Where I consider what Nike did here was betrayal of all that is sane. Here's the picture, and this will blow your mind. That in France, they are being encouraged to violate. And I gotta go to the entire screen. Take a look at this picture. I mean, this says an awful lot. They're using Just Wear it and Nike swooshes to encourage Muslims all over France to break the law. This is a federal law, and they're saying break the law because it pleases them. It's so go against the nation that you came to claim that you need freedom or whatever for being there. Again, these are what Europeans consider economic migrants, but they want their own laws. They don't want to have to abide by everything else. This is just amazing stuff, and it's sad. All right, get back in. Usama's having some difficulty, still fighting to get back in. All right, and let's see. I'm going to save that one for Usama. Here's another one. This comes out of, this next article is out of Afghanistan. And I'll put this in the chat room. Oh, the joy of the way things we want to work don't work sometimes. All right. This is from the national news, which usually is articles from Nigeria. But I have to say, this was an interesting article, and it's a revealing article that you unfortunately are not seeing here in the Western world. They don't want people to see this. It's sad that they don't want people to know the truth. It's titled "Afghan Girls Enroll in Madrasas in an Effort to Keep Studying After Secondary School Ban." Now think about that. We're talking about Afghanistan. This is by Mudassir Islami. It's out of Kabul. Came out September 2nd. Afghan girls and young women are enrolling at madrasas in an effort to continue their education after the Taliban banned them from attending secondary school, which is your usual high school level. Experts say these religious schools, while important, cannot compensate for the loss of access to secondary education. A report this year by the UN Education Agency, UNESCO, said that 2.5 million Afghan girls and young women are not in the education system, 80% of the age group. This includes 1.2 million denied access to secondary schools and universities by the Taliban after the militant group seized power in August of 2021. Women aged 20 were added to the university ban at the end of 2022. To keep learning, Afghan girls are looking to religious schools where the Taliban allows girls above grade 6 and aged 11 to 12 to study. One woman said, "I joined the madrasa a month ago. It's close to my house." And this is a 16-year-old student out of Kabul. She says, "I'm happy to be able to learn reading the Qur'an and some religious topics. I wanted to become a doctor." So her choices are very limited. Usama, if you turn on the speaker phone, you could probably hear us. We can hear you. All right. We'll be fighting for this to get this to work. He's waiting for his computer to restart. It's just so much fun sometimes when things don't work. Anyway, you think about this. They said that one of the reasons we were there, make the world free for democracy. There is no freedom for democracy where Islam exists. It can't exist in the same place. And this is just the way life goes. It was a foolish thing to say this, that we would make freedom exist where people don't want it. It just doesn't work that way. All right, and let's see. I have an article from, yeah, and this is another, okay. My next article comes out of Breitbart, which is not a place I normally get articles from, but I thought this was an interesting article. And here we go. Azerbaijan pursues elimination of the entire Christian population and its churches in Nagorno-Karabakh. Man, does that sound like you are here? Thought I heard you. Okay. Nope. All right. We're waiting for, I think, okay. So let me just get back into reading this. This is by John Hayward. It came out on the September 6th. The Congressional Tom Lantos Human Rights Commission, chaired by Representative Chris Smith, a Republican from New Jersey, held a hearing Wednesday to discuss the plight of the Armenian Christians trapped by an Azerbaijani blockade. Hey, this is good news. Hey.
Hey, maybe this one will work this
Yay.
time.
That sounds good. All right.
Sorry,
So
Paul.
let me. That's life. Let me finish. I think you're going to find this article interesting.
That's fine. Go ahead.
This is an article. Azerbaijani pursues elimination of the entire Christian population, and we're talking about